Picture a first-person narrative-driven adventure game taking place in a mountainous forest area, a game that encapsulates the idea of solitude through its environmental storytelling, coupled with a gripping and mysterious narrative. Are you thinking about Firewatch? Well, I can't blame you. It was extremely popular and somewhat well received, but let me tell you about the game you should be thinking about, Kholat. Developed by Polish indie developer Imagine Pro, Kholat is based on the Dyatlov Pass incident, a true event that mysteriously ended with the lives of 9 Russian students. An event that, to this day, has not been fully explained, though many people have tried to explain what happened. Kholat has the player retrace the steps of the 9 students years after their passing in the ominous dark mountains. Built in Unreal 4, the game is absolutely stunning. Environments are dark and brooding as you walk in the pressing night against the snow and wind. Kholat does a fantastic job at stressing you out with the imminent threat of danger, and its visuals have a significant effect on the experience. But while Kholat does a great job of instilling a sense of fear into the player's mind, the danger is largely absent. The only enemies in the game, aside from environmental hazards, are invisible ghosts that rush at you if you are within their radius of vision. Their radius, however, is so small that you can get away with walking in front of them as long as you keep your distance, nullifying any threat or tension caused by their presence and leaving them as nothing more than a nuisance. There are plenty of ghosts in the mountains of Kholat, but there aren't so many environmental hazards. In fact, they're so sparse, it's likely that you can get through the entire game without running into a single one. The only one that I encountered throughout my gameplay was a hole in the ground with spikes at the bottom, which I promptly dodged and forgot about almost immediately after the encounter. Like most narrative-driven games, there is a ton of walking in Kholat. Actually, you won't be doing much of anything else. Thankfully though, unlike all walking simulators, Kholat gets away with its lack of mechanics due to its story. Its saving grace is the fact that its subject matter is immensely intriguing at its core. For the duration of the game, which hangs at about 5 hours, you can expect to sit a foot away from your screen as you walk in any particular direction, watching the sights go by as though you were sitting on a railed cart in a haunted mansion. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Kholat's simplicity adds to its atmosphere by increasing the tension that was already caused by such a barren and empty landscape. Unfortunately though, the story that leads the player through the game doesn't end up being as satisfying as you might hope. The game itself chooses to explain nothing. Instead, it hands you notes scattered throughout the map that explain bits and pieces of plot through logs and records. Relying on this type of storytelling, however, opens Kholat up to a major flaw. Kholat assumes that the player will care enough to keep engaged without being prompted by the game. Kholat goes on by only rewarding engagement that is so deep that the average player is left feeling as though it's pointless to care and that the game's story is missing, not hidden. What isn't hidden though is the intense amount of work that went into the sound design in Kholat. The game does an amazing job at creating space around the player. The select sounds that present themselves throughout the journey play a great role in influencing the amount of immersion achieved. But while Kholat has a few glaring flaws in its seemingly empty journey, it achieves just as much success through the graphics and sound design within its short and sweet experience. Kholat is a must-play for anyone interested in experiencing mysterious, ominous immersion, reminiscent of beautiful classics like BioShock. But due to oversights in its story, the immersion is short-lasting and lacking any sense of reward. Thanks for watching PlayStation Enthusiast review of Kholat on PS4, and be sure to check out all of the PlayStation news and reviews that you want to see over at PlayStationenthusiast.com. For Enthusiast Gaming, I'm Himanshu Talwar signing off.